What's going on, guys? It's Chris here, and today we're going to be looking at another principle for Town Hall 11. We're going to be talking about defenses and things that I don't think that videos tell about, but good base builders do. So without that being said, let's get right into it. The first thing I would like to mention is when you are defending a troop and where they can go. So, mostly importantly, the queen. So as you can see, the queen cannot snipe my multi. It cannot snipe my eagle from the outside. It cannot get these two expos if it's here. It cannot get these two expos. I have a reason. Including my trap. Think about the queen a lot. Now let's get into defenses. Your most important defense is this right here, your eagle artillery. This is what destroys raids the most. If this is up for most of the attack, it's probably not going to 3-star. So, as you can see, I have it very well protected. I have it very far into the base for where my town hall is, right here. Look how far the wall wrecker has to go. That's a long way, and trust me, they won't make it if they're town hall 11. And on the other side, you're like, all right, well, it's close to here. Well, that's why it's on the town hall side, so the wall wrecker can't come in. And as you can see, there's a Tesla farm. There's plenty of trash. Even if they do get in, it's going to take a lot of time, and they're not going to get a lot of value. They're not going to get a queen, my infernos, but I really don't want them to come in, so I'm protecting it pretty well. One other thing that they don't mention is you see how these walls are right here? There's a couple reasons for that, but the main reason is dealing with the stone slammer. The stone slammer with level 11 walls, this is my mini. I just took my major up to Town Hall 12 due to the update. The thing about the stone slammer is that if it's one tile away, it will not break. It will not break in. Those walls will stay. So that's why that's there. And then the last tip I'd say is make a ring around your eagle artillery. And I exclude your multis as well. So there's a pretty decent ring around. And I've seen it in some attacks. They go like this. They go all the way around it. So this is the last thing. And it's just firing on them constantly. So that's for the eagle. Now let's get into the multi-infernos. So as of now, in December 2019, you need multis, no questions asked. So as you can see, this compartment's unique. The queen, once again, cannot reach it from the outside. So there's no way to reach it. And I think a lot of good bases these days, infernos are usually on the outside. And there's not a lot of value by it. Yes, there's 2 ADs, but there's no eagle. You're not going to get the queen. You're not going to get the other inferno. You're not going to get these 2 expos. There's not a lot of value by it. So I think that's where multi should go, on the corners with not a lot of value in it. You can, but I feel like my best bases haven't had a lot of value. There could be a couple defenses in there, but just make sure that it's not too well protected. Like, don't spend all your resources trying to protect these, because one, you have 2, and you just don't have enough. There's other things you need to protect. And that's another thing I would like to point out is, good attackers, they're gonna 3-star. They're going to get into places you don't want. It just happens. So that's for the infernos. And then one thing I think that is becoming a meta for good bases is when expos usually aren't like this, but is expos somewhere around the middle. So like maybe here, 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 here. And if I were going to do this, I would want to put a wall like right here, so that way the queen couldn't reach them. But the expos are there for a couple reasons, in the middle or to the front. One, I like to destroy the wall wrecker as soon as possible, and any queen walk is going to be very difficult into these. Have you ever had 4 expos firing you? It doesn't end pretty. So the next thing I'd like to go over is the sweepers. Here and here. And sweepers, there's some principles, but it really depends on the base. But if you ever are just wondering, I have no clue what to do, well, always pointing by an Inferno is a good idea. Multi-Inferno, that will destroy Lalo. Or maybe the EA if it's a little weak and you wanted to sweepers. So sweepers, think about areas that may be weak without it, or you just really want to cause mayhem. Like I want to cause mayhem right here. I want the loons to go around my Inferno. Next thing we're going to be talking about is the queen. The queen is very important. It destroys a lot of attacks. So I have it semi-protected. You can get it from here and here, which is fine. Maybe even the CC would be over here. Some CCs can, queen and CC, that's common. I kind of like them separated, but it's base dependent. But for the queen, it is essential that you have at least a couple, either a multi or splash damage right by it, because that will cover the Skelly spell. So as you can see, I have a wizard here, here, and a bomb tower. Good luck with a sweet kill. And sometimes if it's weak, you can always put walls right by it, like so. And the queen will jump and can ruin those Skelly spells. I would also like to talk about the air defenses. I think they have 2 main purposes. I think the air defenses are really good for stopping funnels with a baby dragon. But those are not my 2. I'm sorry. I think air defenses are really good at if someone comes in the main way like here. I like air defenses off to the side, picking off healers if they're going to do a P.E.K.K.A. Bobat or any queen walk. And I also like to keep air defenses somewhere, mostly in the front, and that's because of P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. And I'll explain that with the wizard towers when we get there. But yeah, I know the wizard towers are right by the air defenses, which used to be a no-no, but honestly, because bats are so strong, don't worry about it. If they lalo you and they beat you, well done to them. And you can do certain things to prevent lalo. And whiz towers. I don't see this mentioned a lot. Are the essential thing to defend against bats. So as you can see, I have these 3 things right here. Now an ice golem may come in here and you could freeze here, and if they do that, well done, but it's really hard to freeze all of them. They're covering each other. The multi's covering them and the wizard's covering them. So it's very difficult to do. Whiz towers, I also like to usually have 3 in the back, kind of like the triangle. I call it the death triangle by my EA. Because that's a lot of freezes you're going to have to use to keep him, or you better have something to tank. So, as you can see, for the whole base. To my next point, where we're going to be talking about traps. So your most important traps are the Teslas. I like to think, where do I not want a Tesla farm to pop up if I'm an attacker? And I really don't want one here, because I really want to either get an easy EA with a jump, or at the end of a P.E.K.K.A. Bobat, or at the end of a Hog Raid. You really don't want to see a Tesla farm. Then for Skellies, I think there's 2 main purposes. Actually, there's a lot, and I really don't want to mention them all, sorry. Maybe I'll make another video on Skellies later. Small bombs, really simple. You want to prevent wall breakers. You want wall break fails. So you can have them there. You can have them there. You can have them there. That's all the small bombs really are used for. You want to kill wall breakers. I guess I'll talk about the skellies on this base. This base, if there's a bunch of loons that come, I want them to just get raided by that. And then my other skelly spell, I don't know where my other skelly spell is, but skelly spells are good to distract queen walks and to really rip apart hogs and loons. Red air bombs, pretty simple. You want to keep them by splash damage. And if you can, but this is hard with how the meta is, you want to try to keep them away from air defenses so they don't take it up, but that's really hard these days, so don't stress about that. Black mines, a good idea to keep them by ADs, really. If you're having trouble with a blimp setup, like a blimp's coming in right here, can really help. I like to put at least one black mine for a blimp. And then tornado trap. Think of an area that you would really like troops to just be prevented for a couple seconds. So I'm happy with my inferno compartments, but I really am nervous about them getting to my EA. So if you're doing the standard attack, you're going to be stuck in here for a while. And that's good because the splash damage is going to be firing down. These X-bows are going to be lighting up. And if you're sending in the whole force, that's going to be lighting up and hopefully destroying things. Are there any other things? Giant bombs, same thing as always. Try to put them between hogs. Put them on the outside if you're having trouble with witches. And I can go on and on, but I think I'll stop right there. I'll mention some quick things about siege machines, but I'll do that in maybe another video. I'll just mention about the blimp. Actually, I'll do that for another video. I'm sorry, I'm rambling now. Anyway, I hope this helped you. Have a great day, and God bless.